So there's lots of ways to choose a social media network today. And if you wanted the boring version, I mean, I'm sure you could look the topic up on Wikipedia and you'll get like a whole list of social media networks according to when each was founded and who's on it and what does it do and But since you chose to watch this video, you're going to get the non-boring version of this answer. So I'm going to tell you how to actually choose a social media network today, which is kind of actually different from how you would have chosen a social media network like even 10 years ago. Let's get social. Hi, I'm Salma Jaffrey, and you're watching Content Marketing Tips, the weekly show to watch for non-icky, non-sleazy marketing advice that you can use as an entrepreneur today in your business. Thank you so much for being here. We are talking about what social network to choose today, which is vastly different from how you would choose a social network even 10 years ago. So in, let's say, 6 years ago, 2010, there was Facebook, there was Twitter, LinkedIn-ish, and YouTube. And that was really it, right? But today, there are so many more choices. There are so many more networks. And there are more networks coming up every single day and then like dying off as well. So it's like, okay, what's a trend? What's a fad? What's here to stay? What do we choose? What do we stick to? Where do we establish our presence and our audience? And so it's a more complicated game today than it was a few years ago. And so the first question to ask yourself is, why do we need to focus on one or two social media networks to start with? So first up, why do we need to focus? Well, simply because you'll be overwhelmed if you try and establish a presence on a lot or every single social media network all at once. It's just too much. You'll go crazy trying to keep up and you'll spread yourself way too thin. Tweak it out. Building an audience in the beginning is strictly a focus game. Choose a network and stick with it. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't post on other platforms, okay? Don't get me wrong here. That's not what I'm saying, and that's a discussion for another video, right? But in this video, I just want to focus on how to choose that primary network, the one where all of your effort is going to go and the one where you are going to really, really hone in and concentrate on building an audience. Step 1, go where your audience hangs out. Now, for some industries, this is like a no-brainer. So if you are crafty, your business is about arts and crafts, and you are a woman entrepreneur, then hello, Pinterest. I mean, it's just so obvious that that's where you should be. So some social media networks are really, really clearly defined in terms of who they're serving and who should be on them and what kind of audience you can expect. Others, perhaps not that much. So the first step is to find your audience demographic to match. Now, if you do a simple Google search and type in who your audience is and what kind of social network, you might come up with graphs and images like this one. Now, this graph is going to show you some information about, all right, what kind of demographics and what kind of audiences hang out on what kind of social networks. And so that's a good starting point to begin your research from. This particular chart is from marketingcharts.com, and it'll give you a basic idea about your audience demographics. But I want to go beyond just audience demographic data. Step 2 is to have fun. I mean, for years, I also thought that, social media is just about, being visible and learning how to make sales and everything. And sometimes we forget that social media is really about having a lot of fun. You need to put the social back in social media. And it's like, if you're not having fun on a social network, it's like going to a party and you're just not enjoying yourself. And so you need to leave. right? So same with social networks. If you're not having fun on a social media network, then the chances are that your posts are not engaging, they're not relatable, and you're not really having a cool conversation, and you're not really connecting with people, and you're not really building a relationship. And so what's the point? The whole point of social networks is to be social. So if you're like on, I don't know, Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat and you're just not feeling it, even though your audience might be there, but if you're not feeling it, leave. Leave. Go to where you are going to have fun. It's like you're the host of this party, right? And if you as the host are not having fun, then your guests are not really going to enjoy themselves either. So your audience is not going to be feeling you. You just won't come across as very authentic on that network if you're not having a ton of fun being on that network. Step 3 is to try your social media network of choice for 3 months. Okay, now 3 is sort of like the magic number in psychology. It is the optimal number of choices to give to someone if you want them to actually make a decision. And 3 months is actually a really optimal time frame for you to try out a new social media network and decide whether you like it or not. And you have full permission to leave if you don't like it after 3 months. Now, what do you need to do in those 3 months? Give it your all. Be consistent. Post every day or as frequently as you need to. Follow a guru for that network. Follow somebody who is giving you awesome advice on what exactly to do to get visible on that network and to build an audience. Follow it to the letter. Give it your all for 3 months. Give it your best shot. And at the end of 3 months, if you're not having fun, walk away. Choose something else. And if you are having fun, great, you found your network that you should be on as your primary social network. Now it's your turn. And in the comments below, I want you to tell me, how do you go about choosing a social media network for your business as you are just starting out? I would love to hear what strategies you use in your business. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you want to have a more meaningful, deeper relationship with me, get on email with me, salmajaffrey.com/subscribe, and you get this cool ebook when you subscribe. So I hope to see you on the inside. See you next week on Content Marketing Tips. All right. Hang on, let me just gather my train of thought. Okay, so wait, where were we?